Last we left off, the Forge Force, picking themselves up from their encounter with Squelch, which left Drak's cabbages ruined, continued their journey southward to Nicodranas. A time passed with travel going smoothly and the group observing other travelers on the road, caravans of merchants, extravagant entourages of nobles and dignitaries, and even those relocating with everything they owned. As an airship passed overhead, it did not take long for mischief to take place, as Sashem launched a bolt of divine energy at it. As the attack struck the ship, splintering the deck's railing, it quickly turned about. A number of the party scattered down the road to approach the now halted ship stealthily, while Sashem, with others, decided to face the music. An extravagantly dressed woman peered over the side at Sashem, questioning the reasons for the attack. Only after using his gift and twisting the metal of a dagger so graciously provided into a more beautiful form was the group invited aboard, seeming to have garnered the interest of this woman. Once aboard, she introduced herself as Lady Maria and quickly assembled drinks and a meal to be shared, prompting a getting-to-know-you drinking game as the ship lurched back into motion. As the vessel heaved, so did Arni's stomach, though he found the ability to steel himself in the drink. Stories and questions were shared, but as the night wound down, Syranos and Basil were invited to attend Lady Maria in her chambers for a private fortune-telling session. Personal revelations were shared, and the pair returned to the group's quarters as all rested for the night. Rising in the morn, waking rituals were conducted, and Syranos had the pleasure of meeting Captain Squirt, a rather eccentric kobold who alluded to ongoing search for his brother Squelch, who was expected to have been seen below, traveling this road. As activities continued, an attendant of Lady Maria emerged from the underbelly of the ship, drained in the face. The news was shared that Lady Maria was dead.
There you all stand. The surreal shock of the moment setting in. I don't really know anyone on this ship, so it's not like there's some deep emotional connection that's been severed, but a good number of eyes turned towards you all. She's there in her quarters. Appears it happened during her sleep.
How? What does it look like?
I am not a doctor. I didn't see anything obvious. And you hear stomping down the stairs from the helm of the ship, Captain Squirt.
Isn't he like 3 feet though?
Yes, but he's stomping on purpose.
Oh.
So if you imagine the sound of a toddler intentionally making noise coming down the stairs, that's about what it's like.
Says, what the fuck did you just say? Did you say Lady Maria's dead?
The attendant just nods.
Well, shit. Huh. Go get the ship's doctor.
And you see one of the crewmen turn and head into the underbelly of the ship.
Captain, you don't seem very surprised by this.
No, I mean, I was surprised. It's just things we gotta do now. Considering she was the, she was the one paying for this trip, so things just got a little bit more complicated for me.
So you're not a part of the circus troupe performer people?
And he kind of turns and gestures to the ship.
Nope.
Okay.
At this point, there's a number of people on the deck of the ship. Some have taken the news and immediately turned to continue their work, as they are crewmen. But you see a great number, 15 or 16 people in total, are basically coming up out of the underbelly, emerging from an upper cabin, or we're already here on the top of the ship, and there are faces aghast, eyes wide, for a couple, tears beginning to flow.
I'm gonna lean over to Zenesha. Wait. Zenesha, you're up on deck, right? Or were you still down? Because I know I came up with Syranos to spar, which is why we met the captain. But did you come up with us, or are you still down?
He's still down below.
Oh, never mind. Then I'm gonna lean over to Syranos. Sashem's gonna say this no matter what. So, do you think he's gonna get paid, or if did he get paid before or after? And
I mean, he said things just got complicated for him, so I don't know. And we were invited on board by her. So I don't
it's just
know
kind of. I've never been in a situation where you're in an awkward thing and you're stuck. Like not like we can get down.
Well, Captain, I'm sorry about your predicament. This is definitely very interesting. Would you just like us to wait until you land? I know that we were brought on board by her. How do you want to proceed?
He kind of just looks you up and down a little bit, steps a little bit closer to the point that you're looking down a bit to meet him. Yeah, that's the thing, is I don't think I in good conscience can let you all leave.
I wasn't saying that we'd leave, because we'd like to finish the ride to Nicodranas.
Yeah.
Wait a second. What do you mean we can't leave? Not like we did anything. We were
in
sleeping
the
with
air,
half of your crew.
Sashem, are you gonna jump?
You're welcome to.
I mean,
Duh.
I don't have a death wish. I thought you meant good conscience, like we had done something.
Well, I don't know. Did you?
No. Obviously, I was sleeping with your crew down there. When somebody have seen, since you got multiple crews flopping back and forth, not like I can pinpoint. I've not been on the ship long enough to be like, let's see when her room is available and open. Let me sneak around a little bit.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage. You're doing that thing where you give too many details.
I know.
Just like a 15-year-old.
Exactly.
Drak is just going to be still on deck, just kind of watching everybody.
It was the same
11
roll.
with disadvantage. Okay. Double sixes. That's funny. His eyes narrow at you, but he kind of turns his hat down and turns out away from you. Says, "You seem a bit more of the sensible type here, Mr. Gesturing to you, Syranos.
Syranos.
Yeah, I think you told me that before. Sorry.
Names are hard sometimes. What is the price from here to Nicodranas? And maybe we can at least cover our portion.
No. Look.
Okay.
there's no. We should be able to settle the account, at least with her estate. It might take some time. Some complication comes from that. But somebody just fucking died on my ship, and the authorities are going to want to know what just happened. That's the real complicated part. You know?
We gotta wait on your doctor then, right?
Yeah, maybe he's already examining her. Hey,
are
you and the snake man, you were the ones to last see her last night, weren't you?
She gave us readings, yes. I don't know if anyone
Yeah,
saw her after that.
I figured that's what that was. Our first night traveling from Ice Haven, she did the same for me.
Did you say anything
You
cool?
want to? That's my business. Make an insight check, though.
Drak wants to approach and ask if he could help with the doctor.
19.
19. Okay, I'll message you something. In a second here, Sashem. Okay, go ahead and ask. How does
Captain,
Drak want to? Yeah, what's up?
I know my way around medicine sometimes. Mind if I go help the doctor out?
I'm good with you observing. That's all right.
I'm gonna head down, and then Jack will just head wherever that is.
Let's be on our way. And as you all make your way,
Are you saying?
let me.
I'm sorry, my head is still trying to clear out this blooming alcohol. But are you trying to imply, by any stretch of the means, that you suspect one of us for being involved with this murder or death?
I have no reason to believe anything. I haven't seen anything. All I know is she's dead.
Well, perhaps this might ease your conscience then, or ease our consciences. And Arni's going to cast Zone of Truth.
Okay, which the point that you're going into the underbelly. Okay. Anybody? So effectively, the whole party with where this is happening are within the zone of truth. So if you would like to submit to it, you can. If you choose not to, Arni will know. Or if you resist, Arni will know. Captain fails, and the attendant succeeds.
I swear that I had nothing to do with Lady Maria's death.
I mean, yeah, you were shit-faced and passed out. Be kind of hard.
Hey, Arni, when'd you learn to do that?
A while back, I just don't usually have the capacity unless I have the insight to do so.
We should do the drinking game, and then you should cast the Zone of Truth. That would be the best.
Probably not right at this present moment. My head couldn't handle it.
Which, as a note, Arni, given the hangover for the next little while, at least until you like properly hydrate and rest, you're disadvantaged on ability checks.
So, Arni, remind me again how this thing works. Like, you're compelled to, like, if I asked you a question, are you compelled to answer truthfully, or can you not answer at all?
You can submit to it, or try to resist, in which case I'll know. But if you submit to it, then anything you say must be the truth.
I could choose not to say anything.
Correct.
Great. Okay,
And-
so
Go ahead.
I didn't kill her. But Captain, I think, being the captain and having all access to the ship, it would probably be best for you to say something now, so that way, you can save your skin. Just saying. I mean, just in case. It's not meant to be disrespectful or anything, but Zone of Truth's already up. Might as well say it, and then all of us can vouch for you.
I didn't kill anybody.
Did you order anybody to kill anybody?
No,
Okay, just checking.
not last night anyway. But anyway, moving on. Here's their quarters. He kind of shoves the door open, and inside, Syranos, familiar sight for you. The drapes, the table in the center with the sphere, but it's black. Not translucent.
That's different.
The captain in mid walking past it. What it? Oh. I don't know what the fuck that means. Walks past it and opens another doorway, which leads to a deeper chamber. And inside, it's not extravagant by any means. It looks like most of the detail in her temporary quarters went into the reading room, whereas this is more of a fine room for a ship, but no luxury suite. And laid upon the bed peacefully is Lady Maria, assuredly gone. At this point, Zenesha, you would have been gathered from your bunk, as well as Basil, to come and end. Well, what do you got, Doc? And this doctor, what you see, first you believe to be an elf, but their skin is sallow and tightened to the bone, not an ounce of fat or adipose tissue like anywhere on the body. The eyes sunken with a very, very faint, like whitish shimmer across them. And the ears are long and droop back down into an arc behind his head, probably 2 feet. This spindly gray hair that is only patchy on the top is there's not a lot of it left. He stands about 7 feet tall, so quite lanky, quite tall. Long bony fingers place a sheet back up to the lady's head, not quite covering her face. But then he turns and looks to all of you and says, "Oh, she is most definitely dead."
Might I take a look?
Oh, my initial examination is done. You are, of course, welcome. Please. And he kind of steps to the side as you step in.
I would like to examine what the body using my medicine check, if that's okay.
Okay, and you can go ahead and do it at advantage because the doctor would also be there with you, kind of pointing out the things that he sees. Go ahead. And Syranos,
Arni,
anytime that you'd like to do that, you can.
So 14.
how long does Zone of Truth last?
It was 10 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
So 14, Austin.
With a 14, I mean, she is definitely past long cold. This would have happened a number of hours past, such that there's no warmth left. So any inclination to be able to like revivify or something like that is far out of the question. It would take more powerful spells. What you do find, though, is across her body, and she has not been disrobed by any means,
but it's easy enough to, pull a sleeve back, pull a shirt up over the belly. It's as if she's been wrapped. It's as if she's been constrained all over her body. It's not like deep, like tearing bruises or anything like that, but like she was wrapped with something that has left just faint red marks across her, like she was tied in knots.
Doctor, what do you think might have caused these?
Oh, yes, I noticed those. It is quite perplexing, as there was no rope or twine of any kind in the room when I came in. Best I understand, the attendant here was the only one to come this morning.
Is the attendant in the room?
Yes, he's there, just with his head bowed.
All right, then I'll step aside and lower the sheet back down as I do so, but I'll keep my eye on... I want to keep my eye on the attendant for any... kind of like an extended insight check, almost.
Okay, yeah, we just go ahead and roll an insight check. He says, it is quite strange because there's nothing fundamentally wrong with the body. It's almost as if something else was affected. And Syranos, with that, you're able to say it. To yourself, of course, but... The soul seems to have separated from the body through no other means than it's moved away. The body was healthy. She was strong. The heart is not weak.
What do you think, Captain? Did you see this in your reading when she showed you this? You know, your future of having to deal with all this nightmarish mess?
Let me see something.
Doctor,
I didn't see this.
No, you didn't? Then what did you see?
He just shakes his head and looks away from you. Doctor goes, yes.
Are you implying that she could have chose to leave her body?
Well, whether by choice or some kind of arcane force, one cannot know. She's not here to ask.
Of course.
Now, you were one of the last to see her, yes?
Yes.
Was there anything unique about your interaction with her?
After our readings, she looked exhausted, and with some sweat on her brow, she said she needed to go to bed.
Quite interesting. Well, there's not much more I can do here without a deeper inspection that does not warrant an audience and would only be done at the command of the captain. Turns and bows to him slightly. He goes, yeah, I think we're going to hold off on anything like that. And if she had a heart attack and died, that's not really on me.
Or if she chose to leave her body.
How does that even work? Is that something you could do? Could I just, orange monkey eagle and just gone?
You
Well,
got a better grasp on this life than I do.
It didn't work when you just tried it, so maybe not.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, it's worth a shot.
Hey, Doc, right quick before you leave,
Yes.
where does the soul go to if it chooses to leave its body?
Oh, well, I mean, there's a great number of places souls can go. The domain of whatever deity you worship or serve. Or worse.
First,
Well, the burning hells, of course.
oh, right.
Not a
Um,
pleasant place.
can you bring a soul back?
Well,
I mean, technically I can,
resur-
but it's got to be within a minute, and I don't. Other than that, but
but divine magic. And he rests his hands on this bedpost and sets his chin on it. And his chin is rather sharp and pointed. And here you can see the eyebrows and the ears both kind of curl and whip back and almost like float and wisp in the small breezes here in the cabin. And he looks at you now only about 2 feet away from your face, himself bending down. Divine magic. Ooh. Well, of course there is resurrection magic. I would think that if she did in fact choose to leave, she would likely not heed the call.
so a waste, right? And he's gonna
I
lean back a
suppose.
little bit because he's
You
still
know,
too
I
close.
once tried to revive a woman who had died, and I felt something from the other side of this existence pulling her soul away.
Oh.
Do you think that this could be a similar case? I mean, is it even possible that even a divine being can just rip the soul out of a living body that hasn't even died yet?
Oh, I imagine the gods can do as they please, but all of this is far beyond my purview. I deal with the elements of the body more than anything else.
I mean, we could try, Arni or Sashem, and at least we could find out.
It has been quite a time longer than a minute.
Yeah, I don't think I got anything. And really, that's a lot of diamonds to spend on somebody I don't know. I already gave her a fancy knife. She's fine. It's fine. She chose to leave her body. That's fine too. Sure, but that's
If
a
we can't, we
lot
can't.
of diamond.
So, Shem, make a perception check, by the way.
17.
You can see the holster for the dagger, kind of off to the nightstand, and a tool belt that has, a number of things attached to it. The dagger's not in it.
Hey guys, my dagger's gone.
Your dagger!
Well, okay, my craftsmanship on the dagger is gone. It was her dagger. I just made it pretty.
Yeah, that's a bit odd.
Yeah. So, okay. Anybody know if souls can grab things?
I'd like to just glance around the room to see if it's somewhere else.
Yeah, go ahead. Make an investigation check.
Somebody stole it.
Drak at this point just drinking out of his jug.
Yep. With an 18, looking around the room, Syranos, it does not seem she really made herself at home in this room. Not a lot of personal belongings, even for what was likely a multi-stop, rather long trip from Icehaven all the way down to Nicodranas. Not a lot of personal things set to the side. A number of drawers just empty in the first place. You don't find the dagger,
You do find a packet of sealed letters wrapped in twine. Stack of about 10 envelopes.
Well, she doesn't have much here, Captain, but this is weird.
He reaches up and takes them from you. He doesn't open up the twine entirely, but he kind of peels it a little bit and is like looking at the fronts of the envelopes. Yeah, looks like I mean, I don't recognize any of these names. Well,
What are the names?
he pulls one out. Syranos. He holds it out to you.
Oh, okay.
Freshly penned, ink, not wet, but it's that. You can tell it's relatively fresh. The ink hasn't bled and blurred into the fibers of the paper yet. Written in a beautiful font, Syranos, right on the front.
Interesting. Maybe these are for the people she made readings for. Yours might be in there, Captain.
No, it wasn't, but I don't know. A couple of these others look like they might be family or something like that.
What are those
Yeah.
names? I'm gonna lean over him and try and gander.
So he's going to take the wad of envelopes and kind of smack you in the side of the face with them. He's like, seriously, get a hold of yourself.
I don't
He
have a
pops them
hold
into
of
his coat.
myself. I'm gonna like just letters recently. We've been finding some and they're not so savory people, so just curious of whose side of what she's on. That's all.
I want to,
She's a singer.
So says you.
I would like to, walk out of the room heading back towards the bunks
Okay.
to read that letter that I was just handed.
Okay. And will you be relaying this information to the party or keeping it to yourself? Or does it depend on the contents?
It depends
Are
on
you
the
sneaking out
contents.
too?
Okay.
I'm just going to check this out, and then I'll go sit by the bunk.
I'm gonna take a once around the room and then follow him. Which is not
Okay, are you
giving me
going-
anything.
Are you going to be attempting to be stealthy or?
I don't think so at first. Once I see he goes down to the thing, like I'm gonna come out on the deck. Once I see he goes down, then I'm gonna try and be stealthy because he's really trying to keep this secret,
I'm just going to
go
my
ahead and roll a
bunk, but
stealth
okay.
check.
Good luck.
Yeah, just roll a stealth check, Shessu.
Still
No,
sucks. So
Arni-
here we go.
-4. No,
Arni has a lot of experience with crime scenes. Is there anything that caught his eye during this whole?
Go ahead and just go ahead and make an investigation check with advantage.
Mine's an 11. I forgot I got armor on.
16.
Okay, with a 16, looking through the rest of the room, kind of paying attention to the spaces where Syranos was not searching. There's really not a lot in here. But given that, as a captain of City Watch, you attended a great number of crime scenes, murders, thefts, and the like. There are no signs of struggle in this room. No sign of forced entry. No reason to believe that she was attacked. The only thing that stands odd and looks like anything other than someone falling asleep and passing is the markings across her body. And these markings, they're almost like a sunburn in a way. You can tell that they were in lines. It's like across the face and shoulder, around the arm, and they like, kind of like if you take two lines and run them through each other and kind of pull them. There's some that like intertwine, but they're laid across her skin.
Can Drak look under the bed?
Under the bed?
Yeah.
I imagine that this would have happened with the investigation checks that happened before, but if you'd like to, you could make either a perception or investigation check.
Yeah, I was just looking at the body the first time, but
Right.
let
I
us
mean,
do
the
it
other
this time.
people that have checked, but
Oh,
you are,
that'd
of
be a
course,
21.
welcome. 21. Okay. In looking under the bed, there are no chests or footlockers. There are no scuffs or scratches. Looks well maintained. Looks like it was smoothed and oiled maybe within the past month. The bed frame looks fine, but you do notice up in the bed frame there is a little bit of a wisp of hair. Do you pluck it?
Yeah, I'll reach in and grab it.
It is not a match for her hair color. It is a auburn, like a deep, like a brilliant red.
I'll turn to the captain and say, "This is suspicious."
He walks up to it and he's like, "A hair? I mean, I don't think there's any redheads on the ship right now."
It could be someone tied to it. Maybe a tracking spell of sorts.
Well, that throws something out there. Look, I honestly think that unless you all are, capable of getting her to talk, we're probably not going to get anywhere.
I cast Thump. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, wake up! What's gone through Zenesha's mind witnessing all of this?
She's thinking that she's only around to kill stuff, not to find out who did the killing. So she feels pretty useless. But
Fair
you said that in
enough.
the chamber before is where she would do her fortune telling.
Yes,
So I imagine there's a crystal ball there.
there is. It is
She's probably
it's
at
solid
the crystal
black right
ball.
now.
Okay, she's still at it, trying to figure out how to make it work to see if she can use it to find the killer.
Say, do you touch it?
Yeah.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Great.
Okay. At this point, you've grown, familiar with invasions into your mind. As you touch the orb, there is something that attempts to push in, and it's malevolent. Your hands recoil instinctually, and the connection's severed. Sashem.
Sorry. Does it feel similar to when, Orthax is that trying to get into her head? Like, does it feel like a similar presence?
No, and the spectrum of good to evil. Orthax, you can tell, doesn't necessarily fall on this pure evil. There's a truth to justice or vengeance, in that it can serve justice. So there's this grayness, almost like the smoke,
of Orthax to his alignment. This is unadulterated. This is pure and recognizable.
Okay.
Arni, just roll a investigation or perception check as you inspect the hair. Sashem, you do. Yeah, you would successfully sneak up on Syranos with that, right? For passive.
It was an 11.
11? Oh, okay. Now, Syranos, you do. I mean, given the length of the letter, you do finish it, but Sashem clunk, 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 sneaking up behind you.
Are you curious?
Oh, no, I came down here because I wanted to check the bunks for the knife.
I don't think we needed an insight check.
You're full of crap, and I hand it over so he can read it.
Yeah, and I
Okay,
open it
and
up,
at
start
this
reading
point, that basically means it's going to make its way to everybody, so we might as well. It says, Syranos, Singorn holds revelations for you. None can deny that. But it also holds a destiny you cannot avoid. Your death will be that of yourself, not your life. Lady Maria.
Well, we already knew about Singorn, because we were headed that way anyway.
Yeah, it's a little cryptic.
Yeah, especially when it's like your death is yourself. What?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know
duh.
what to think about that, but
Maybe it's a clue.
I'm thinking if the captain will let us, maybe I'll take her crystal with us to Nicodranas.
What crystal?
The crystal ball, the black one.
Oh,
Here, I'll show you.
didn't
I'll
even
go back
see
to the
it.
room.
I follow him.
And as the two of you cross back into the room, this lines up with the moment where Zenesha touches it. And what the two of you see as Zenesha touches it is that her head kind of kicks back a little bit, like not quite pain, but her eyes darken, and then she recoils and pulls her hands away from it.
Whoa. Zenesha?
What was it like?
What was that?
There's something evil in the ball, and I prevented it from talking to me, but I really want to talk to it.
Let's not do that. Captain, can we bag this and keep it safe?
She's gonna
Maybe...
touch it before I can bag it.
No!
Oh, Zenesha. Of course you would. The captain does come stepping in. He's like, hey, what do you say? Right as you touch it again, Zenesha?
Yep.
No.
Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw, this time with disadvantage.
I mean, she wants it to happen no matter what, so...
I mean, if you just choose to allow it.
Yeah.
Sashem just wants to monitor as she does this to make sure none of her body parts starts like sizzling or, kind of like
Syranos-
face mask thing. So
She said
that's all I'm looking at.
evil. So Syranos is instinctively going to be trying to pull her off of it.
Okay.
Because evil bad.
Why do you do this? Okay.
Drak just peers in and there's people, so I'll go. Up to the deck.
All right, what are we doing?
Yeah. Shashem's going to try and convince Syranos to not pull her hands off. Hey, it's just talking to her, right? It's not like it's going to do anything.
She said evil.
Right? Well, yeah, but talking to evil is different than evil, like, trying to suck your face off.
Mm.
I haven't lived that long, so I don't know. You've lived way longer than I have.
This is Zenesha.
That's true.
Zenesha, so what you feel, vision goes to black. What the rest of you see is Zenesha, she touches it again, and her head kind of just, hands are still on it. She's almost falling over. She's wavering, like wobbling.
Arnie's going to try to grab her arm away from it.
I mean, I'm on one
Off of
side
it.
trying to do the same thing, so.
You're gonna have to push me away because I'm on the other side. So if you want to chuck me away, you can. I'm not gonna.
I mean, I'm just gonna step in between you.
Okay, so as the group of you all go to move Zenesha, Drak, what are you doing?
I think he said he was leaving.
He did, but
You then, out of the corner of your eye, you would see him peer back in and then run and jump over all of you and grab the ball.
Wait, what? Like full body. Oh god.
Basically trying to negate her.
so if you would like, Drak, make a wisdom saving throw. Otherwise, you can choose to submit to it.
In this case, Drak would choose to submit to it.
Your vision does narrow. You can feel the influence creeping in. But what you all see is as the faint aura of darkness of the orb, much like it was with Zenesha, begins to creep over his hands. Zenesha, you fall back and your eyes, blurred and crossed, but you are regaining yourself in short order. There is a golden light emitting from Drak that is pressing back at the darkness.
I would just like to make sure that Zenesha doesn't fall. So I'm just like propping her up instead of her falling all the way down.
She's wavering, but it looks like she's got a hold of herself.
And me and Arni have her arms, so I'm pretty sure we're keeping her from falling over anyway.
Yeah, so she's likely good. Drak, are you going to suppress it?
I'm going to attempt to by trying to command it in like more of a, instead of it like his high, squealy, craggly voice, you hear like more like a booming voice, still kind of high pitched, but saying, "You will not succeed any further here. Go back."
Okay. Roll a d20 plus your religion plus your proficiency.
Oh, that's not good. That's 9.
For a total of 9.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be contested. Let's see. The 10. The golden light that is building kind of all over you and almost like comes off in these wisps, kind of like a solar flare, right? Where it kind of whips off in this ring and then ejects. It dims and pulls in. Drak, you're losing. What do you do? Or do you call for help? What's happening?
I am going to call out to the
Arnie's
monk, the Masonic tradition that he's in, the drunken fists, and out to the drunk lord, mischievous lord, and the trickster. Say, I need help, and pushing this back. I'm going to try to keep pushing, knowing
Okay,
he's
good,
going
Arni.
to those around him.
lay a hand on Drak and cast guidance and say, "You can do it."
Okay. So, another of the same roll, this time with guidance, so you can add a d4.
Can I look around for a bag to see if the captain's got one or if there's one nearby?
I was just gonna
A
say.
cloth sack or something.
This
I was gonna say.
This roll has the d4 included when I roll it, so you just add
Okay.
the 5 on top of it.
Okay. Yeah, Syranos,
That's
glancing
better.
around for the bag.
That's 26.
Glancing around for the bag real quick. Basically, the captain's sitting there just like wide-eyed, just like watching this all happening, just like...
I
just
want
super
to
confused.
rip the bag out of his hand and cover up the ball and pull it out of the monk's hand. Drax.
Well, right as you swipe the bag and turn back
Okay.
to Drak holding the sphere, who is, up on the table, kind of like literally fighting this sphere. He's sitting there, and this golden energy is kind of like pouring from him and clashing against the sphere and battering this darkness that's starting to pour out of it. As he does that, there's this faint image that begins to form while he's doing this. And it catches you and kind of freezes you for a moment, Syranos. There are these wisps of kind of like these wide chops and of golden light, pauldrons that come up, out and away, and then fade. And a long golden tail that curls. And with that roll, Drak, one final push, and it boom, this reverberations through the room. Darkness recedes into the inside of the crystal ball. There's no more.
So it's
And the golden light also
just kinda-
fades.
So is it clear
Go
again
ahead.
now?
It is transparent again in form of Drak.
I'm gonna hand the
Settles.
bag back to the captain. Sorry about that.
Imagine you're the
What? What?
Did anyone else see that form?
Huh?
Really, you all would have.
What was that?
Just
Drac?
need- I need to
I
know what
think
kind
there's
of
a
evil
lot
that thing
more.
is.
I don't think it's evil anymore.
Anymore.
Just something that
Drak.
wanted to take over one of your troop and probably cause the death of the lady in there.
Was the golden tail, was that from the crystal ball or was that on Drak?
It was on Drak. As he leapt up and grabbed the ball, he immediately started to exhibit this golden light from his own body that combated the darkness of the sphere.
My old cabbage friend, I think there's a lot more to you than meets the eye.
All I did was ask for help.
Tossing the sphere up and down,
Yeah,
which
just
is transparent at this point.
I went, here you go.
So-
I'll toss it to Syranos.
I
It's safe now.
mean,
Is the
Can
zone
we
of truth
find out-
still up?
Nah, given how long there was discussion with the doctor and stuff like that, I'd say it's not.
Arnie's just going to
Drax-
ask anyway. Drak,
go ahead.
who and what are you, my friend?
I'm just a cabbage merchant from the monk ministry of the drunken way, the fist, whatever it's called.
No, I can't do this. I'm going to sleep.
It's morning, Syranos. Hey, Drak. I just need to know what kind of evil that was. Like, can you narrow that down? Have you ever felt it before? Any weird hungry sensation? Gonna consume everything around me?
All I could tell at the moment is just that I knew it was an enemy. So, it needed to be taken care of, and I was able to help your friend here.
Thank you, by the way. Zenesha, does it feel like the same face sucky stuff? You know, skull, face rip off, that kind of.
Oh no, did it?
I didn't.
It wasn't like that. It wasn't. You submitted. So your consciousness basically just stopped in that moment. You can't really tell characteristics.
Yeah, I don't know if
And-
it was the same thing or not. I don't really
Okay.
know what happened.
What are
I
you
didn't
guys
communicate with it like I wanted to.
I guess my only other question is can we tell if this was supposed to be in the crystal ball or if it was put there? Because this may be why Lady Maria was like, nope, I'm out. You know, somebody's messing with her stuff.
Oh, that's how crystal balls are supposed to look. Pointing over it. If Syranos is still in there and has it, but
I set it back down on its pedestal,
Alright,
and
I'll point at the crystal ball.
after saying I can't do
Shem's
this, I'm
gonna-
going to bed. I'm going to walk back out to go meditate and focus on reverie, because
Okay.
I want a hard focus on that because of the letter that I received from her, basically.
Okay. So you do make your way.
Sashem wants to pick up the crystal ball and say, hey, Captain, any use for this?
I imagine something of that, well, if it still works, that value would need to be settled in the lady's estate.
As he's slowly trying to put it in his bag of holding. And she's going to freeze and be like, what do you mean estate?
No.
I'm gonna knock
What?
it out of his hand. Back on the pedestal.
Okay.
But it doesn't even work anymore. It's just now a pretty ball, isn't it?
No.
I'm going to look around the room and see if the knife's in the room.
Okay, here in this chamber, yeah, just go ahead and make an investigation check.
Drak will then just go ahead and go sit up on the deck.
Okay.
Maybe do some bow staff drills, quarterstaff drills, or whatever.
Okay.
14.
It takes you a moment, Sashem, in kind of. This looks like where most of her actual personal belongings were put. For whatever reason, there's a separation between where she slept and this space. You find a couple of, intriguing things. There's the stationery set that was likely used to pen the letters. There's a wax seal that looks to have the logo or symbol of this traveling entertainment troupe. There is a small, wooden box that when you open it just has a vial of paint and a single brush in it. There is, in a little nook under the table on her side, the dagger secured in a way that she could potentially use it to defend herself.
Oh, hey guys, I found the dagger. Check it out. I'm gonna grab it, pick it up. Captain, are you gonna be against this too? I mean, this is all my handiwork. It'll be so I can remember her forever.
If I let you take that, will you get out?
Totally.
Be my guest.
Thanks, Captain. And I'm gonna run out.
Clang, 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 clang. Zenesha, there you are with Arni now in the room. Is there anything the two of you would like to accomplish?
Nash is just gonna follow Sashem.
Okay. Arni?
What a day this has become.
Yeah, you're
Right.
telling me.
Oh, why are kobolds so loud?
What? And it does ring in your head.
Oh, it hurts.
Well, we should probably lock up this room. And it gestures the door.
Yes. Let's... Away with me.
And exiting the room, the doctor does step back in. As the door closes, there's a muddled conversation being had between the doctor and the captain and the attendant that was there. The deck is where you end up all gathering here after just a moment, gathering yourselves. The travel has continued, and this has only taken up the first 40 minutes to an hour of a day, and there's a good amount of day left. Is there anything anybody would like to accomplish during this day?
One, I would like. I just want to know if I sense anything funky from the knife after yesterday. Because obviously, when I did it, I don't think I felt anything because of what I did. But I wanted to see if she did something to it.
In looking it over, just go ahead and make either an Arcana or Religion check, or just investigation.
They for religion.
It looks unchanged from how you gave it back to her, aside from sans Sashem blood. It's been cleaned.
Okay.
Syranos.
Yeah.
How often have you exposed your blade to your breath, like you were intending?
I actually wasn't doing it to my blade for risk of it becoming fragile.
Okay.
I was trying it on. Let's see, what was it like? Let me check. It was. Where are you? That's right. One of the chisels in my woodcarver set. That's
okay.
That's what I was gonna test it on, because I didn't want to risk my blade if it became fragile. It just shattered.
As you've gone through this, you could call it a ritual, but it's more of just like a habit. It's not like you're breathing this massive cone of frost breath, frequently. It's kind of this gentle, constant cold on it. Right before Reverie is one of the times that you've elected to do this. And Arni, settling in to probably go back to bed, you actually see Syranos doing this. You've seen it a number of times. But for both of you this time, and even Zenesha, if you didn't go on deck, you would see this happening as well. The blade is taking the elemental energy just a little bit. It seems to be holding it a little bit longer.
Syranos, what is this that you're doing?
So, I was just curious, really. After visiting that enchanter shop in, was it Zenesha, I think?
Yeah.
And they, told us about how things could be imbued. I thought I'd give it a try, and so I was going to test it on a tool before trying to test it out on a sword. See if I could imbue it with my breath. That's all.
And where normally, after doing this, at this point in your hand, it would have warmed again. It's staying cold.
And
It's not incredibly cold.
Is a first.
So you're just exposing it to the elemental energy repeatedly.
Yeah, I just didn't want to test it out on my blade. What if it got fragile because cold and blades, But this is kind of cool. Here, I'm gonna hand it to him so he can look at it because he seems curious.
This is
I would not.
definitely something to consider.
If you have an undershirt.
And
Hands it
looking at
back.
it, Arni, it's chilled the touch. It's cold enough that a little bit of rime, a little bit of frost. It's just like forming on the corners of it. The smallest, tiniest of crystals of frost, like the water in the air is condensing to it. You can tell that it's not cold enough that like it would freeze a wound by any means, but it is cold.
And I think I would probably set it down either, like I wouldn't put it back in its pack or anything after seeing that this did something different this time. I would probably like set it down on a stool or side table, whatever's next to the cot that I'm about to go do reverie on.
Okay.
Just to see if, it was still like that when I was done with reverie.
Okay. Arni, it occurs to you, your magic is rooted in the divine. It's from worship, devotion, maybe your bloodline. You're not, a lot of the deeper specifics of it kind of elude you, but it's fundamentally elemental.
Arni is back in his room, is going to ponder on what he saw and take out a bow that he hasn't used much and just start to Arni can call down lightning bolt, but he's just going to kind of let some of that static electricity start to flow across the wood of the bow.
Give it a little tinkle tickle. Sorry,
I don't want to hear about anybody giving anybody tingle tickles.
I couldn't help myself. Sorry.
So Arni, what quality of make would you say that this bow is? Is it something that was like standard issue in the City Watch? Is it a family heirloom? Is it a fine elven bow?
It's a short bow, but it's a standard issue, but it's high quality. Arni takes the care to make sure that he's got quality gear,
as captains do.
But it's nothing significantly ornamental, but definitely highly functional.
Okay. Thinking back, Syranos has been at this, essentially since you met him. It's been a while. A couple of weeks. A number of weeks. Nothing happens this time. But if you would like, with the expenditure of a first level spell slot every day, you may be able to make progress. The amount of ether you pour into it might have a direct impact on the success and the magnitude of any kind of infusion of elemental energy.
Arni will take the time to start investing some of that ether every day.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone would like to accomplish during this day of travel? No? Okay. A little bit of extra... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that because of the letter and the circumstances, Syranos is trying to not only relax and meditate because of the events, but I don't know. He keeps thinking about Singorn. The letter, what we've been told. It's gonna be heavy on his mind when he goes into reverie, just Singorn.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be his focus until he wakes up and then checks the chisel. So.
Okay. Your reverie cycles through a couple of the memories that you've already experienced. Seems that, at least at this stage, your will cannot. Of course, you are wholly uneducated on reverie in general. You are not given training or instruction of any kind.
Yeah,
for it.
so
So,
makes sense.
Zenesha, as you rest, it is a restless sleep this night. Now, everyone was gathered to have a meal, but it was quiet, kind of like that awkward cafeteria sense to everything. You do get a full rest, but when you wake in the morning, you take 3 points of psychic damage. And there is a sense that you're being reprimanded.
Naughty, naughty.
The morning does come. Arni, this time, with the hangover out of your system, the airship hasn't been that bad. Direction hasn't been changing, and elevation and speed and everything hasn't been changing. The weather's been clear and fine. You haven't felt any, ever since starting, lurches and heaves, and things feel almost no different than standing on the ground, at least on this stage. Everyone else, you also would earn a long rest, except for making sure you mark off that first level spell slot, Arni. It is on this day as you all make your way up above deck. In the distance, a bit far to the horizon, but you know that your travel will reach there today. is a city. And this city stands between two mountains that rise up and overlook a river that casts itself out to sea, which sparkles here in the morning. Deep cliff faces, and among the city, one singular tower that looks rather large from this distance. The city looks enormous in scale. From each of the cliff faces to the other, probably about 1.5 miles, the city has filled that space and crawled upstream a number of miles. Here, the airship does begin to lower its elevation, and down below, you can even see a great number of caravans moving in and out. In a couple of hours, you will be over top the city of Nicodranas. Is there anything anybody would like to do before you reach the city?
I want to test the strength of my quarterstaff. Just by like kind of bending it and seeing if I need to replace it or anything.
Okay, giving it a little bit of a check. There's a little bit of creaking in it. It's not by any means like cracking, but you know when you push wood just a little bit too far, you get that crackling sound. It's doing that.
If anybody's around him, you'll hear, seems I need to get an upgrade.
I tell you what, my friend. That wee little stick you've got, you hit me with it hard enough to make me flinch. And the bet is yours, but if I don't flinch at all, then you ought to tell me who exactly you are and what you are.
Stroking his white beard.
Tell you what, I'll give you a little bit of information. But can I still hit you?
I suppose that's a fair trade.
Right. You go stand over there and hold still.
Arnie's gonna stand and just brace himself. No
Okay.
shield or I mean just the body armor he still has, but just
Okay.
no helmet, no shield.
I
Okay.
hope the rest of us are within view.
Yeah, I imagine you'd all be up on deck. Having heard that Nicodranas was in sight
Yeah,
would have drawn everyone up above.
to see it, yeah.
So how are you doing this, Drak?
Drak is going to kind of like swing the bow staff around him, or the quarter staff. I'm just going to call it a bow staff.
Yeah,
And,
you're
like,
good.
just doing all these crazy things, and then slapping on the ground. He just kind of runs, javelins off the ground with it, and smack right on top of the head.
You know, as he is flourishing, Arni, he's starting to have second thoughts. But before you can step out of the way, and since you're allowing the hit, it's an automatic crit. So go ahead and roll damage.
Was with my two hands.
Uh-huh. Because this is equivalent to hitting an incapacitated target. So 3 plus 6, 9 would be 18 plus 3.
That was our
21.
I rolled it with crit.
Oh, that was with crit. Okay. So 12 points of damage. Okay. I was like, that hurts. But yeah, 12 points of damage. This crack comes down right on the top of your head, Arni, and you
immediately regret this.
Arnie just like falls like almost flat on his face, but just like catches himself on a knee and a hand. He's like,
Yeah, your ears are
"Sweet
ringing.
mercy."
Like kind of crouched down, like just how the monk would next to him. Like, you want a drink?
Probably not.
Well, you know what? Here's one little bit of information. I'll kind of whisper in. Just, I've been around a while.
He's been around a while. That's what you got for bonk on the head? As time passes and the city grows closer, you begin to become flanked by a number of other airships, some smaller, a number that are the same size, that meet you on your path, coming from the north, coming from the south, a couple from the east, that also align their direction, moving towards the core of Nicodranas. There across the cliff faces, at this distance, you begin to be able to see a great number of airship docks. Dozens upon dozens of airships rest against the cliff faces here. And a number of them are quite large. To even call them ships would do them disservice, as they look to be bordering on moving cities. One in particular, large crystals of brimstone encircling it, 15 or 20 installments of them. And this stands connected to the cliff face to the east, which is on your left side, casts a shadow over a good portion of the city, probably a quarter mile in diameter. A veritable fortress built on top of it. Sashem, this to you is a sight that is inconceivable. An airship in and of itself is fantastical, but this is something else.
When I like when he goes to the dock on Treasure Planet.
Very much so.
It's one of my favorite movies as a kid.
Good. As you grow closer to the city, many more of the details of its cityscape come clearer to you. The predominant color across the city, the buildings seem to be crafted of almost an adobe material, kind of like a golden brown dirt, for lack of a better description. But it has been finely pressed and carved, you can see, to be quite exquisitely crafted. The river that flows through the center of the city has a great number of small and even larger boats, some paddled, some driven by automaton, moving up and down, moving cargo, people, couples that are rowing up and down the river, people moving to work. There are interspersed every 150, 200 feet or so, large walkway bridges that are 30 or 40 feet wide that cross the rivers. There are a number of carts that cross these, and what all of you do notice is that most of the carts are not driven by horses, They instead appear to be driving themselves. There are mechanisms at play that move the carts along.
I'm gonna lean over to Drak and be like, we should get one of those. Then I can fortify it for you. What do you think, huh? Huh?
Nah, I'm okay.
Kind of throw my hands up and walk away from him.
Looking into the distance, as for the most part your eyes have been drawn down, for the first time you look up, and there are a good number of wyvern riders. They're just circling everything. Looks like a couple seem to be specifically circling these patch of incoming airships. You're probably about 10 minutes away from reaching the cliff face where all of the airships are docking.
Oh,
I'd like go ahead.
I forgot. What was my tool like after my reverie?
Oh, after your reverie, it's still chilled.
Like, is it
Unchanged.
even now?
Here you go.
Yes.
Cool.
Got my-
All right. No pun intended. I'm gonna put it back in its pack, put it away, and then all this stuff happened. But
Right.
Thank you.
Yep, you're good. I would like a perception check from anyone on deck that would like to.
I will.
– 17.
Okay. Sashem, Arni, and Zenesha. The three of you, Syranos too. Drak, you're the only one that looks to be distracted. Or focused on other things. You all notice that this tower that was in the distance, pretty close to the shoreline, hasn't changed size since you got closer. It stayed the same size. It looked like it should have been enormous from further away, which was an hour away. But by perspective, if you were to, pinch it with your fingers, it's still the same.
I'm gonna nudge Arni. That's probably the Mage's Tower.
Aye. Or at least somebody who's got a fair amount of tricks up their sleeve.
Right.
I'm gonna walk up to Syranos and Arni. Hey guys, you've traveled way more than me. What the heck is up with that thing?
I've not been here.
Oh.
Burning hells if
Arni?
I know.
Oh.
I'm gonna do. Can I do a history check for my studies? If I would.
Could be
know-
history or arcana.
History or arcana. Okay.
Yep.
Let's do. I think history makes more sense, and it's horrible. Yeah, I've not been here. This is surprising, but my best guess is that's the Mage's Tower.
Actually, Basil walks up and he says, I was hired as a bodyguard for someone that was delivering something from here to Comorda. And on my way here from Marquette, I actually went inside. It is
Hey.
the Mage's Tower.
Oh, well,
What you doing there?
thanks. Good
I
to know.
walked in, delivered a package, and then was kicked out.
Oh, what a glamorous life you lead. There's a Mage's Tower. You didn't do anything in there?
I don't think I had much of a choice. The tower changed its shape, and I was kicked out.
The tower
Mm.
changed its shape.
Yes, it was quite a strange experience. It was, I was sitting in a room that had, rather nice furniture, and Then the furniture went away, and I was in a hallway, and the hallway kept getting shorter until I went through the door and was outside.
Was it like pushing on you as it got smaller, or did it feel like you were standing in one spot?
It really felt like I was standing in one spot.
That's creepy.
Really weird.
Very.
Really weird. Yes. But, yes, that's where I know I'd like to go today, if I can.
And
I'll
this
go with
is
you.
exactly why I dabble in divine magic and not arcane magic.
Well,
You don't like kicking people out?
Arcane magic is just weird, my friend.
We find a weapon shop. This thing's getting a little creaky.
I think best bet when we arrive is probably whatever the captain tells us because of the situations that happened, and then finding a place to stay, and then we can go do what we need to. But I think getting a place to stay is going to be, I don't know. That sounds like a good idea to me.
I'm gonna put my hand on Syranos' shoulder and be like, very responsible. Hey, Drak! Are you still sticking with us?
Muted.
Well, we did make it to the destination you guys promised to help me get to. But
Wait.
I can hang out for a little bit longer, I guess.
Cool.
Supposed to
I'll
meet a
take
friend
you.
here at one point, I think, but I don't know. That was a while ago we said that.
How long are we talking? A while.
This would have been maybe 5 or 6 years ago. He helped me with my cart once when it was broken. He lifted it up like it was easy.
Really? What was his name?
The name escapes me. But he was dang green.
Scaly green?
No. More. He was he was wearing armor. Anyway, where's the weapon shop?
Oh, well, wait a second, Drak. Was it just him?
Yeah.
No other pets or metal-looking things around him?
No, not that I know of. It was just him. My wheel was broken on the side of the road, and he lifted it up. I was able to fix it.
Where were you located when that happened?
Oh, I was everywhere. I've been so many places. He was just a wanderer too, so that's all I know. But we promised to meet up at some point in the future, so who knows?
You don't know his name, nor where he's from. You only know he wore green armor, and that's it.
That's all I can remember, and that we were supposed to meet here at one point. But
I'm gonna see if I can grab his staff and go, do you want me to hit you upside the head so that way we can see if we can jog it out?
I doubt you could do that.
I mean, if you hold still, I could.
Why would I hold still? That sounds dumb. As I kind of glance at Arni.
I gotta let go of the staff. And be like, okay, that's it.
You see kind of a mischievous grin on his face. Like you would a monkey in the zoo.
Yep. As the conclusion of this interaction comes to be the side of the ship, you all notice a wyvern rider kind of pulls up, floating alongside. A drow woman rides atop of this rather small but crimson-colored wyvern. She shouts over the deck of the ship, "Who is the captain of this ship?"
Hello? Captain?
His name is Scorch.
I'll look at Arni. I'm like, he's a captain.
Arnie's gonna look back.
Yes, my captain.
And then you hear, yeah, I'm coming. Stepping out from the underbelly. Who was? Oh, yeah, we need to talk. Where can we go? And she goes, nice to meet you too, Captain. Down here on the east side, you'll be under the belly of the fortress. Oh, great. All right. Well, if anybody doesn't like us moving fast, it sucks for you. And he goes over to the helm. Are we good to go? And she kind of just does a thumbs up and then takes off. Arni, a very unpleasant sensation, and for all of you, even, it doesn't feel great. At this point, you have closed distance and are probably within 1,000 feet of that large flying city. And probably about 200 feet above it. And having been told you now need to move below it, the ship comes down at a rate that nearly lifts you all off of your feet. It's a sensation of lowering on an elevator times 10, and it's constant for a pretty good fall. It almost seems like the ship is just about to go down. And as everyone's guts are lifting, and yeah, that's about right, Arni. As everyone's guts are lifting, and you have to kind of grab something around you to not fall, you just see the captain going and driving the ship down. And by the time you come to the edge of the floating city, you swing under. Only about 30 feet below you is rooftops, and 10 or 15 feet above the height of the top mast is this slab of rocky terrain that is the underside of the flying city. Swinging over to the mountainside. Go ahead.
I was going to say my brain was just wanting to shout out a quote to a movie, but
I bet.
I think Syranos would let out a giggle. Like, during this. Like, it would be something you guys have never heard come out of him. It's just...
And it's a little bit nerve-wracking, and you're moving because of the dive pretty quickly. And then he goes, all right, this is my favorite part. And he cranks the wheel to one side, and the ship starts still moving this direction, turning and flipping around. Arni, another Constitution save, please.
I'm going to quote it. Yzma, hands in the air.
While that con save is going on, I need a strength saving throw from everyone, including Arni again.
Dang it, my save button's not working.
Oh, Sashem. Missed by
Mine's not either, but right click on it and then you can do it that way.
Right, I
Oh,
forgot
okay.
about that trick.
Yep. I missed it by one, really?
Yes, he did.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So,
Lucky.
all of you make it except for Sashem. You were not expecting the sudden drift. And you are going to go tumbling, but across the deck of the ship. You do take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you roll and crack the back of your head on the railing of the ship. And again, Scorch up on the helm is just going, ah! And the ship begins to slow as it drifts backwards. And looking off the back of the ship, which is actually kind of where he is, he's looking back, and the ship is coming to a stop, lining up against a dock. And then finally stalls. Ropes are thrown. Though there's this strange sensation. There's this vibration in the air now that you're not moving comes to you all. The hum of the broomstone of this flying city above you is shaking everything. You know that feeling when you're at a concert and it's in your chest? It's that constantly.
I've never been to a concert.
Any loud PA speakers that have shaken your chest?
Or listening to the music loud in your car thumping?
Yeah, something.
Or maybe a good heavy bass in a car that comes next to you as you're driving?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Feel the
happens all the time
vibration?
down here. Yeah.
There.
That deep sensation persists.
I think with that flight experience, Syranos is finding himself extremely elated. Like he didn't know he would love that, but he did. And still laughing, comes up behind the captain, hand on the shoulder. Oh my gosh, Captain, that was amazing.
And he goes, hey, that's my favorite. I'm really fucking good at this.
You really are. And I think that was my favorite too now. I might have to come back.
Well, you could always charter me. Because of what happened, I'm going to be looking for work.
Yeah.
We lost
no.
Laura.
No.
She may be resetting.
Laura, come back.
You could blame it,
You can blame it all
on me. There we go. As the ropes cast off of the side of the ship to wrap around posts on the dock, the crewmen pull and the ship heaves just one final time until it comes into a very gentle contact with the side of the dock. A large padded leather section kind of forms to the outside of the ship, capturing it, and you have come to a stop. The captain kind of steps out to this gangplank that is being set out, and it's large for a gangplank. It can accommodate probably a steed moving across it. It's substantial. Kind of turns around to everyone that's on the ship. All right, so I gotta go get the authorities. Given everything, please hang out. I mean, you gotta imagine that if you go running off, you know, they're probably not gonna like that. So, stick around. Shouldn't take long. And he turns and steps off the gangplank. A number of crewmen are also stepping off the gangplank, but it looks like they're moving things back and forth. There are some supplies that are going outward, and there are some that are coming back. There's people that are coming up to meet a couple of the crewmen, and you all likely have a little bit of time before the captain gets back if there's anything that the group would like to discuss or accomplish.
At some point before landing, Arni has written a little note for Captain Scorch.
Okay.
That just says, "Sorry for your brother." And he's tucked it in an obscure place that will be found eventually, but not anytime soon.
Can you stick your name to that?
Yeah, I was about to say, is that going to be?
Yep.
Oh,
It better be just your name.
No, it's Arni and Company.
Mother effer.
even though Arnie's the only one that didn't kill Squelch.
I know. He wasn't even there. How does he know Squelch is dead anyway? He fell down when we were coming out.
He looked up and saw the fire
You all
erupting
told
from
me
the
what
pocket
happened.
dimension.
Mother F, man.
Okay.
If this ever comes back to bite us in the butt, man, I'm never telling you a dang thing ever again.
And
Just
Arnie
make
was
a.
he was just singing, "It's raining Squelch."
Wow.
No.
And Basil just like keeps brushing a little bit more charcoal off his his leather cuirass, you know. Arnie, just make a sleight of hand check. Let's see how hidden this is. Your objective being that it's discoverable. Okay. All right. Just thinking about how that's going to resolve. Okay. It doesn't take long, probably about 5 minutes or so, before coming back, flanked by 2 guards that are clad in the gaudiest, most ridiculous, like golden hued armor. If you think of like the elves from the last Hobbit movie, right? That kind of shape to them, but even more extravagant and unnecessary. Quite pompous in their display. 2 humans alongside Captain Scorch. They step aboard the ship with him. One of them follows him to the underbelly, and the other one stays kind of just there at the gangplank, just waiting. Anybody looking to do anything in this time?
Arnie couldn't be more eager to get off of this airship and back onto the ground.
I think Syranos
Yeah,
is
you
just
know,
waiting, so
the contrast between Syranos wanting to do it again and Arnie having sat there with his hand on the railing the whole time, white-knuckled, is not lost on anyone. And Arnie, freedom is like right there on the other side of this gangplank, but you're stuck. After a short time, the guard does come back, and the captain kind of stays there at the entrance to the underbelly while the guard steps forward to address everyone. And he says, the consortium has vested interest in determining the outcome, or rather the cause, of Lady Maria's death. No one here, as of this moment, will be detained, but we will ask that each of you carry with you a marker that will allow you to be located if any questioning should be necessary. And he pulls out a sack and just pulls out, it's a small coin, actually. Walking up to you, Arnie. He holds it out to you. You take it?
I'll take it.
Okay. Pulling out another. Walking over to you, Syranos.
I take it.
Okay. Drak.
I'll take it and just kind of flip it through my fingers, flip it up, catch it, and go like this like a friend.
Okay. Are you getting rid of it though?
No, it was just fun
Okay.
little
Flourish.
fun little thing.
Yeah. Sashem.
Finding me's one thing, but it's not just gonna all of a sudden teleport me somewhere I don't want to be, right?
Oh,
No, this is not that powerful a magic, believe me.
What happens if I don't take it?
Well, then I would detain you now.
Oh, crap. This is the thing that not even my mom knows where I go.
I don't care about your mother.
Obviously, but it's kind of weird when you have somebody telling you all the time.
Take the coin.
No. He just grabs it and stuffs it in his bag of holdings.
As you snatch it out of his hand, he... Oh, rude. Takes another one out. Zenesha.
She grumbles, but she takes it.
Okay. A number of them are also handed out to pretty much the entirety of the crew, as well as the captain. And after they have all been dispensed, he steps back to the front of the gangplank and says, you are all free to go as you please, of course, as long as you carry the coin with you. Now that it has been on your person, we would be immediately notified if it is discarded. No objections.
No.
Oh.
I just questioned. Does this thing have like a distance, or like, let's say I disappear to a different plane, then would you be able to track me?
It is a beacon or a spell that allows us to locate objects. It itself is not magical.
Oh.
Necessarily.
I just was checking, didn't know if
So
it had a range to it or not,
It holds almost no monetary value on its own.
Oh, no, I actually didn't think of that, but thanks for telling me. I just wanted to know how far I could go. And if I went out of that range, is it going to notify you? And then all of a sudden somebody's going to be like, do some magic spell and teleport me back?
I feel you may be concerning yourself too deeply.
I have to
Okay.
apologize for my party member. He is new to magical things and is honestly just curious.
Sashem,
well.
I don't think they get paid enough to even care where you are unless the need actually arose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paid versus evildoers trying to, kill and take over the world and destroy this plane of existence. Just two different things, dude.
Yeah,
Shrek's
but
just gonna lightly bonk him on the head and say, "Shut up."
All right, what information
no
do I
damage,
get?
but
why couldn't you have hit me that softly?
You challenged me.
I'm gonna rub it. Man, what's with everybody hitting me on the head today? Gosh.
as I said, the consortium has a vested interest in the events that transpired that led to the death of Lady Maria. She was poised to perform and draw audience and tourism to the city. And now that investment is moot, given her death. Is there any information anyone has that has not already been shared by the captain? They would like to volunteer.
The
Did he
captain
tell you
knows
about
what we
the
know.
red hair?
Yes. Would you mind if I take that as evidence?
Sure, I don't need it.
Do you require compensation?
Nah, not this time.
He takes
Next
it
time
and
I'm in town, maybe.
he kind of swirls it into this vial and corks it and places it into a pocket.
It was under her bed, kind of stuck in the wiring.
Very well. I'll make note of that. Pulls out a little notepad,
and a piece of like thin charcoal. Writes it down. Anything else?
If you could point us to a place to get a room, and is that the Mage's Tower? Just to clarify.
Yes, that is the Mage's Tower. Usa's Tower.
Those are the two locations that we need currently, as far as I know. But
As far as a room, there are no shortage of inns. Depending on your budget, you may be able to ask around.
Thank
Maybe
you.
a weapon shop.
Ooh.
Basil, you stayed here. Where are we going?
Actually, I made my way through quite quickly. Did not spend a night.
Oh, that's not helpful.
Sorry.
Okay.
And they
And
got
ours
Oh,
is-
I know a place.
Oh, okay.
Where would you be leading them, Tyler? One of the nicer places, or no?
I would like to think that this is a place Drak frequently visits, so he probably has his own little boudoir or whatever, his own little place to stay.
Okay, I would say
Is it just a
Think
porta
big-
potty outside somewhere?
Think like Big Hero 6,
tree.
where the one friend leads him to a house, but not that grand.
Well, I don't know. I think.
You can decide on that.
Think, given the things that are about to transpire, as you all disembark the ship, still a story or so above most of the rooftops of the city around you, standing under the shadow of the flying fortress, the hum of the broomstone that holds it aloft, shaking your body, and in fact shaking the wood of the dock that you stand on, threatening to rattle it apart over time. In the distance, further to the south and west, glittering ocean that seems to extend forever rolls off the end of the horizon with the sun cascading off of its surface. White caps at a certain distance from the shore. A bustling city filled with people and automatons and trade and politics. That's where we're going to end tonight's session.